welcome to Miss Henrich's video demo. Today I'm going to show you how to make sunshine citrus cookies. These are a type of refrigerator cookie. So you're going to make the dough, put it in the refrigerator, and then the next day slice up the dough and bake it. So it'll be a 2-day process. So my hands are nice and clean. Just washed them. I have my apron on to protect my clothes, and I am all set. So let me show you our mise en place, which means everything in its place. It's all the ingredients and all of our tools we will be using. So let's start with the tools. You'll need measuring spoons. You'll need a dry measuring cup. This is called your microplane zester. I have some ramekins to hold my ingredients. I'll need a bowl and a spoon for mixing, a mixing spoon. And then we'll also need the stand mixer. Okay, and the mixing bowl attachment for this. All right, there's a little device back here that unlocks. I can lift that up. And there are 3 different attachments for a stand mixer. This is the whisk attachment. We won't be using this. This is called the dough hook attachment for bread and other things, but we will not be using that. What we will be using is the paddle attachment. Okay, so you find this little notch here. It's going to align with a little button. Stick that on and twist so that your attachment is secure. Okay. And you can lower the mixer and make sure that you get that locking little levers in the back here. You can't really see it, but make sure it's locked so that it can't just fly up when you're mixing. Okay, we'll come back to that. Let's look at our ingredients. We will do 1.5 sticks of butter. We'll need some regular granulated sugar. We will need some flour. And we will also need some baking powder, a little salt, 1 egg. And for our citrus, we'll need 1 of each, but not using the whole thing. We'll actually have to cut this in half. Share with another kitchen, the other half. So zest of half of a lime, zest of half of a lemon, and the zest of half of 1 orange. Alright, I'm going to show you how to crack an egg properly before you bake with it. So egg can potentially be a bad egg, but we don't know just by looking at it. We have to crack it open to see. So we don't want to just crack the egg right into our mixture. We want to use a separate bowl so we can make sure that the egg is safe and healthy. It's also a good opportunity to make sure that you didn't get any shells in there. We don't want shells in our cookies either. So always have your egg separated in a different bowl. I will insist on this all year. So there we go. And now I'm going to wash my hands because I just cracked an egg. All of the citrus will be cut in half ahead of time because I haven't taught you yet how to use knives properly. So you don't have to worry about the knives. Well, you will use this device. This is the microplane zester. You take your half a piece of fruit and carefully you just want to rub the fruit against the zester. Okay, and it won't all fall down into the little dish. It's gonna clump up. And at that point, you'll take a butter knife. And with the butter knife, you can kind of remove the zest pieces from the microplane zester. Now, if you take a look at this citrus, you'll see that there is a colored part on the outside, and then there's a white on the inside before you get to the flesh of the fruit of the citrus. This is called the zest, the green part, the colored part, and the white part is called the pith. The pith is very bitter, and we want to avoid getting any of the white into our cookies. We just want the colored green or yellow or orange, depending on your citrus. Ta-da! Here is my lovely zest for the orange, half of an orange, half of a lemon, and half of the lime in the smallest cup because it's the smallest citrus. All right, first step is to cream the butter and sugar. The cooking term to cream always means that you are going to mix or beat together a fat with the sugar until it becomes very light and creamy. We're going to use the mixer for this. It's a lot faster. And it's best to use room temperature butter. If you don't have it at room temperature, you can cut it into smaller pieces. It'll just make it a little easier. So we'll dump this into the mixer. Probably lift it up. So makes that not messy. And then 1 cup of sugar. I'm going to make sure that it's completely leveled off at the top. So it's an accurate 1 cup. Okay. Lower the mixer. Lock it. And here on the opposite side are your speed controls. So 1 being slowest, 10 being highest. You're going to start slow and work your way up. So that's at like a 4. I don't really need to go higher. That's fine. So this is what it looks like to cream butter and sugar. It will all come together and look very fluffy and consistent in texture. Alright, so my butter is all creamed. It's nice and fluffy and light. And now I'm going to add in my egg and a pinch of salt. So my mixer is locked, and I'll pour in my egg and mix at a low speed. And for the salt, a pinch of salt is actually 1/8 of a teaspoon. So you'll use your smallest teaspoon measurement, the 1/4 of a teaspoon, and just kind of eyeball out half and add that in. Okay. So now we're going to get our dry ingredients all ready. So we'll need 2 cups of flour, all-purpose flour. All right, so take your 1 cup measuring cup dry, plunge it into the container, pull it out, and you're going to want to make sure it's even on top. So take a butter knife, and as best you can, scrape the top so it's nice and flat. And we're going to add this slowly into the mixer. Nice and slow. Okay, and do the exact same thing with the other cup. And of course, teaspoon of baking soda. Sorry, baking powder. Very different. Alright, and then finally add in your citrus. And mix until just combined. That just means that you don't need to leave it mixing for a very long time. Just until you get all the ingredients in. Watch that. Alright, so my dough is ready. You're going to lift up the top of the mixer and you want to scrape all that dough back into the bowl. Take it off. This goes to the dishwasher. On a clean surface, you'll take your parchment paper. Parchment paper is just special paper made for baking. With your clean hands, you're going to have to work with this dough a little bit. We want 2 pieces. Okay. Set this one aside for now. And this one we're going to roll out with our hands. Until we get the right shape, which is about 2-inch logs. So 2 inches in diameter, a log. All right, and then this log doesn't have to be the most perfect. And we'll start wrapping it in the parchment paper. It's very soft dough because it has a lot of butter in it. That's why we need to freeze it, because it would just turn into a blob and not look like a cookie in the oven. All right. So with some tape, you can tape that closed. Okay. Fold down the edges. Don't need to tape that. You'll need to label it with your kitchen color and your period, class period. And then this goes into the freezer. Okay, once you have both of the logs in the freezer, make sure that they're labeled. That'll be it for the day. You'll start cleaning up and we'll meet back for our part 2. This is day 2 of the Citrus Cookie Lab. What you'll need today is a baking sheet, possibly more parchment paper, or you could just use the parchment paper that you had wrapped around your cookie dough that you froze. You'll need the turbinado, which is basically raw sugar. You can see it's nice large granules. Gives it a nice little sweet crunch on top. And that's it. So let's take a look. I'm going to just put this aside. This just came out of the freezer. You can unroll it onto a cutting board. Yeah, and I'm just going to use this. Lay it right on top of my baking sheet, and that's ready to go. All right, so you'll cut these into about a 1/2-inch slice. Into about 1/2-inch size pieces. Get your baking sheet ready. Lay the cookies down. Okay, now your cookies are sliced and on the tray. What you'll need then is just maybe 2 spoonfuls, maybe 2 tablespoons of the turbinado. I'm going to just estimate, it's not exact. And with clean hands, you'll just take a tiny pinch and sprinkle it on top of, just a little amount on top of each cookie. All right, and this goes into your preheated oven. Don't forget, that should be the first thing you do is to turn the oven on. Make sure that it's preheating while you prepare your cookies so you don't waste any time. This will go into the oven. Alright, so I baked my cookies at 325 for 10 minutes. And you can see there's like a little golden brown around the edges. We're going to want to set these aside and let them cool. There's little cooling racks in your kitchens. And enjoy! So thanks for watching this video demo. I hope you learned a lot. Good luck tomorrow. Thanks for watching.